What's up everybody? This is Mr. Hem here, and in this video I'd like to make further improvements on our 2D framework basic, because there's a few things, well there's a lot of things I'm not happy with, but there's a few things that I may need to use when I build games in our future series. So let me show you what I mean. Let me pull up our engine, or rather our framework, and the last thing we got is balls bouncing. Now, first of all, I'm not happy with this form 1. I want to call it something a little bit more professional, I guess. We'll call it We'll call the game window. Over here, game window. Call it game window. Call the game window game window. We call the game window game window. Another thing is what happens is we register a key up, key down here, and then we check whether the key is pressed or not. But sometimes what we want to do is we want to manually, set this to true or false to kind of force values on particular key codes. And that's something I want to add into our engine here. So what I want to do is I want to create a function where you can kind of, or a subroutine where we can kind of force key set, some kind of key set where we can kind of force the value of a particular key code to whether it's true or false. So we have a bit more control over our buttons here. And so what I'll do is I'll have by-val value as a boolean. So I want to set certain key codes to certain values, have better control over it. Now, I know I could probably just make this global and shared, but I'm probably avoiding that. I'm doing too much of that. I want to avoid that and expose it like this. And what I can do is, well, before we set anything, we should check if it exists in the dictionary. And if it exists in a dictionary, then we're going to set. Now, if it doesn't exist, we just ignore it. So if it does exist, key code, and then we'll set it to whatever the value we set it to. Okay, so just to demonstrate, for example, what I could do is if key check check 38 is true, then I might want to do something like play a sound, right? But what I want to do is always set the key set to false, to 38 to false. And so even though I press the key, it should just set it to false, and this won't work. So now I can kind of force certain values on my key there. So that's something I want to do. I've added into this particular framework. Another thing I want to add in is these things are private, so I can only use them in game window. But what if I wanted to use them directly from the game window in my particular object here. Like I wouldn't be able to do it from here, you know, and I want to be able to do it from anywhere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make these two public shared, right? Public shared, so that I can access these from anywhere in my other objects. And this errors out because this is not shared, so I just need to make it shared as well. But I don't need to make it public. I can still make it private shared. So it just needs to be shared like that. All right, so that's one of the changes. So I want to change my key here. What's the issue here? Oh yes, I forgot the sub. Deleted the sub somehow. All right, so I'm kind of happy with that for now. So we've got our keys and our key check and our key set. So we have that little extra functionality. Something else I'm not happy with is when I play an audio, I gotta put in the audio's full thing and what its type is. And as I put more audio in, I don't want to keep having to remember where it is and what type it is and where it is and what type it is. I want to just load my audio in and set all of these things in the load, and then when I actually use it, I can just put like a name, just an alias, instead of having to put this and this. I'm fine with controlling whether it loops or not, but I don't want to keep putting these in and having to figure out what folder it's in, you know, if I had folders, you know, all that biz. So I want to kind of do that once when the game loads. So I want to redesign my my audio here. All right. So let's have a look at our time. 7 minutes. This might take longer than I expect. So what I'll do is I'll close this video off and see you in the next video for this particular change.